Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully you can hear me. This thing is kicking my butt. Can anybody hear me? Please say yes. Oh. Can anyone hear me now? Ah, awesome. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Awesome. Okay, let's try this again. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I suck at this. I'm sorry, guys. Um, let's see. So we're late now. Hi to everyone. If you could type in the comments where you're at. Jessica, I know where you're at, out in sunny California. Ricky Hughes, hello. James Graham, hello. How are you guys? Um, I wanted to go over. I have these guys right here. Order guides. Golf R GTI. Well, backwards. Golf R GTI. Golf R is probably what everybody's interested in. That car's, I don't know how this news story came out, but there's a news story out that said that the sales of Golf R for 2022 went up 23,800 and some percent. I don't know how that's even possible when there was only 2,000 units or less built, but I don't know how they came up with that math, but they did. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hey, Chattanooga plant. Awesome. I wanted to go over some things about 2023 Golf R. We don't know a whole lot as dealers. The press releases that come out are pretty much all we get, and the customers call us before we know anything about it, usually. Um, Golf R for 2023, no real changes between 2022 and 2023 other than the fact that there will be a 20th anniversary edition, which will have some extra blue accents, blue mirrors, depending on the body color of the car. It'll have a 20 on the puddle lights, but the cars are starting to show up at factory. There's a few lucky dealers who are actually getting Golf R's. They're actually in transit to the dealer, but no dealer in the country has one yet. There's one. Actually, the coast seem to be getting them first. There's one going to Seattle. There's a couple going to California and a couple going to Florida. And then there's a lucky dealer in Minnesota that has one. So if you guys want to blow them up, blow them up. But I'm sure there's a wait list for those. I have a wait list that's 10 people deep. Nobody's moved on my list. We only got 2 Golf R's yet last year. I got one of them. And I'll go over the things that I like and I don't like about my car. There's a lot more on the like than the don't like. I'll tell you that much. Let's see, you own a 22 blue GTI. Did you get the S, SE, or Autobahn, Ricky? And what I was saying there is there are some cars coming. There's 233 of them that I can see. The majority of those are still at factory. Some of those are 20th anniversary editions. So they're out there. They do exist. Most of them are still on the water or still at the factory. But they're starting to trickle in. It's going to be a really slow trickle. And I'm willing to bet, James Graham, man, you are lucky. You got one allocated to you. We wish we could get that. I've had 0 allocated to me as of yet. I've rattled every cage that I can and make sure people know that we got 10 people waiting for these. Previous to the pandemic, we did typically earn somewhere between 7 to 9 allocation protocol, or basically using that as a map as to what will be allocated. We only got 2. Technically 3, and 1 sank on the Felicity Ace. That ship caught fire and sank to the bottom of the Atlantic. That was my car, so I ended up getting a replacement for that. The S with DSG, very nice. I will tell you what, the Golf GTI, I'm not mad at any trim on that car. The S, the SE, or the Autobahn, those are all well equipped. The S man, that is a power pack car for, I mean, you could get a lot, and even in the S now. Used to be in the S, you got halogen headlights, you got still stick the key in the ignition, you got an AM FM radio with nothing really fancy other than the cloth seats, and you got heated seats. But now you get the fog lights, you get the LED lights, not the chamber LEDs. You get you still get the touchscreen radio, but you get two knobs instead of no knobs. It's still AM FM radio, but it's nicer. I think you even get the heated steering wheel with that one still. So you get a heated steering wheel in a GTI S. Pretty nice. Let's see here. The 40th anniversary edition, Ricky Hughes, availability. I got 0. We don't know how many numbers they're gonna. They aren't even telling us how many numbers of these are gonna produce because they're just not sure. Right now, everything's fine. They're building the car, but availability or parts issues, supply chain issues just pop up at any point. We had at one point we had several hundred, maybe close to a few thousand vehicles waiting on radios, just sitting at both Puebla and Chattanooga. I think that has been resolved now. Pretty much every dealership was a little thin on cars coming out of Mexico and coming out of Chattanooga for quite a while. And a lot of that was pandemic stuff, but there was also supply chain stuff because we were running full tilt, producing vehicles, sometimes 6, sometimes 7,000 vehicles a week for the US market, and still nobody had anything on a lot. Inventory levels are improving. Golf R, GTI, those are still going to be, I can't speak for every other dealer, but I know my dealer, yeah, we're not getting those very rapidly. Let's see. What's up with the GTI Autobahn? I've never seen one for 22, 23. It's too early. It's just too early for 23. I've got a couple of videos of Autobahns for 22. Actually, there's 3 of them. A pomelo yellow stick shift that I sold, a blue, I believe it was a DSG that I sold, and a King's Red that I also sold. That one was ordered. So the 3 Autobahns that came to my dealership, I sold them all. Most of those were out of town buyers. The Autobahn does exist. You will see them. They're just not landing at dealerships yet. Let's see here. Added summer tires and wow, it drives even better. Yep. The Golf R 20th anniversary, Keith. I just said that car there. I'm not sure how many we're going to see of those, but they are in the pipelines. I can see them, but typically the dealerships on the coast get cars before people in the Midwest or other areas. However, an exception to that is there's one going to a dealer in Minnesota that's getting a Golf R. I didn't look to see if that was a DSG or if that was a, you know what, I'll actually pull it up on my trusty iPad here and see if I can find it here. Don't mind me, I'm looking at my iPad here. I can log in and pull something up here. The 20th anniversary Golf R. I want to tell you something. That car, it's a good bet that any dealer you find, my dealership doesn't do this, but there's a lot of dealerships out there that do market adjustments and markups and dealer add-ons and stuff like that. That car, they're probably going to do it too. I spotted a 20th anniversary edition. It was over 48 grand. So this car is pushing 50 grand. I didn't see one hit 49, but 48 was definitely kind of an eye opener. By comparison, my Golf R was 46.6. And so here I'm logging in here. I'm going to do a search and see how many Golf R's I can find here that are anniversary edition. So I'm just going to put in 20th anniversary edition, do a search. It'll first default to local to my state. There'll be 0. There's 0 in the state. So when I remove Missouri and search again, 20th anniversary edition, 23 results. 47,673, 46,873, 47,038, 47,038, 46, 46,8, 46,7, 47, 47, 47. Okay, so here we go. 48,172. So there are MSRPs on these cars, and there's a good chance that these dealers that are getting these are going to go over the top with them. Looks like they're equally, well, actually manual, 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 manual. These are all manual. So wait a minute, there's there's one. There's 2 out of 23 that are DSG. All the rest are manuals. All of them. Lapis blue, black, black, blue, black, black. So I can scroll through and see these. Would love to have the 40th anniversary in red DSG and DSG, but probably ain't gonna find one. Here's the bad news about the 40th anniversary GTI. Again, just like the Golf R, that's not going to be one we can order. We can't order Golf R or anniversary Golf R at all. That got ruined by a dealership last year. I told that story. They tried to order 42 Golf Rs, and that set off the alarm bells at Volkswagen, and they said, shut it down. We're never going to open Golf R for dealers to just order. The GTI, we can order GTI S, GTI SE, and GTI Autobahn. 40th anniversary edition? No, sir, can't do it. They're going to be allocation only. So those are not even in the pipeline yet. That will typically be a later build. So that'll be later in the model year that we'll start to see those. Those just aren't available yet. That reminds me, 40th anniversary GLI. I haven't seen that anywhere. I haven't searched for it, but a customer told me that that was coming too. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll have to search and do some research on that. But there's nothing in our communications from Volkswagen or anything that's coming. But it makes sense. So imagine a year where there's a 20th anniversary Golf R, a 40th anniversary GTI, and a 40th anniversary GLI. That sounds amazing to me. That gets that car in more people's hands, and more people will know the secret about Volkswagen and Volkswagen performance, because those cars make me excited. Let's see here. Would love to have the 40. Okay, we just saw that one. Save the manuals. Yeah, save the manuals. The manual transmission, the US, we get that. They don't get that over in Europe. We're getting that in the States. I don't know why. That sounds almost reverse to me. Like Europe is big on manuals or standards, and America, they see us as, well, lazy, and we need automatic transmissions for everything. So I'm surprised that's flipped, where the American market gets the manuals. Also, the sunroof, no sunroof. I have a sunroof in mine. I love that. So the 40th anniversary edition, no sunroof in it. I don't know if that stands for, I'm going to look here. I don't think that stands for the regular Golf R for 23. I think you still could get a sunroof with that one. I'll have to double check because I don't see it listed here. But I love the sunroof on mine, and I love everything about my Golf R. Okay, almost everything. Let's see here. Yeah. So Paul Pakula, do you have a Golf R? Let's see. Is there any update on the possibility of an Atlas Crossboard interior refresh? Okay, I started that by saying that I thought there was going to be a 23.5. I talked to people at the factory, a couple people. They do these test fitments where they test interiors, they test things out. One of the things they tested out was a new interior and a new infotainment. We kind of thought that was going to be a 23.5 for Atlas and Atlas Crosssport, but now it's looking like that may not happen because they're having constraint problems with. There was an issue with the trailer hitch. There's an issue with radios. There's an issue with, and when I say issues, I mean parts, as in they're not coming. So they're building these cars without a radio, and they're parking them on a lot at Chattanooga and waiting for radios. I think that is starting to wane a little bit, or maybe ebb a little bit. But that's been a problem for a few months. Let's see. So in answer to your question, no, I kind of started that rumor, and I apologize. I thought for sure it was a go that we're going to do 23.5. No communication on that, not hearing anything other than that. So I don't know what's coming on that. Let's see here. I wish I had premium sound. I had to delete due to the chip shortage. Yeah, the Golf R towards the end there, they did the Harman Kardon delete. I was lucky enough to get one before that happened. Mine came in May. I got mine in May. So yeah. So the Harman. Oh, you had a GTI. Okay. Yeah. So same thing. Harman Kardon delete was deleted on those too. So no subwoofer, no Harman Kardon. Um, that's a bummer on that car. That really is. And these things are going to play. All of these deletes, by the way, are going to play havoc with trade-in values when it comes time to trade these cars in. Just be ready for that, whichever side you're on. If your car has everything or your car doesn't have stuff. If your car doesn't have everything on the deletes, you might be able to pull the wool over a dealer's eyes that doesn't know any better. I didn't tell you that. But if you do have everything on your car, yeah, make sure that you note that. Hey, mine came with navigation. A lot of these didn't. On the Atlas for 2022, the beginning of the year, the SE with technology Atlas was solid. That was a solid car, was a solid seller. Then they deleted the power lift gate and the blind spot monitoring and rear traffic alert, and that car absolutely hit the brakes. So that killed that car, and they learned from that. So they started they stopped deleting those things on the Atlas for 2023. They said, nope, no way. You know if they'll ever come out with a kit for it. That is highly doubtful. Because you got a window credit on the sticker for that car. It's doubtful that they will add anything else there, or that they'll come up with a retrofit. Let's see here. Is there a delete on a 2023 R that you know of? I have a deposit on a 23. So far, knock on wood, there are no deletes on 2023 Golf R. No Harman Kardon delete, no radar sensor delete, no ventilated seat delete. We're not seeing those. However, on a 23 Arteon, I have one sitting on my lot that has ventilated seats deleted, massage seats deleted, and rear heated seats deleted. But that's it. That's all I've seen on a 2023 for the kind of premium cars. Do you see the Golf R selling at normal MSRP for 23? At my dealership, yes. If I can get my hands on them, we're going to sell them. That was my promise to everybody. I'm selling my cars at MSRP. I'm not marking them up and not doing an add-on and not doing market adjustments or anything like that. Plus, the markets are changing to where I don't think market adjustments are going to last much longer. I really don't, just because people can't afford them. And now the FTC is making noise, and there's a lot of things that are starting to happen that I think those things are going to be a thing of the past. Let's see. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Oh, the Golf R, the 40th anniversary edition. So let me read off what this, I'm sorry, 20th anniversary edition, what this guy will have. The base MSRP for a 40th, I keep saying 40th anniversary, 20th anniversary Golf R is going to be $45,390. That's for a manual transmission. That's before destination charge. Destination charge is $10.95. And that reminds me of something else. If your dealership says they have to add a destination charge on top of what's on the window sticker, they're lying to you. The destination charge is already on the window sticker. Already there. It's towards the bottom of the window sticker. $46,190 for a DSG. Limited production. It says it right here in red. And that is going to be available in deep black pearl, pure white, or lapis blue. So they will have lapis blue mirror caps on a 20th anniversary white one, pure white, and it will have deep black pearl mirror caps on a lapis blue. I have the silver. That's one thing that I'm not necessarily a fan of, but it's kind of paying homage to the old Golf R and the old R32 by having the silver mirror caps. So I got a clear coat protection, or a PPF protection on the front of my car and my mirror caps. So they're on there now, but don't be surprised if I start showing up with carbon fiber covered mirror caps, because I'm really considering that. I did also order a carbon fiber engine cover for my car, since the engine covers are not coming on that car, Golf R or GTI or even Arteon. Let's see. Uh, so I'm trying to see what else is different on the Golf R 20th anniversary edition. Blue calipers, blue mirror caps. It'll have blue mirror caps on it if it's black too. So on performance, the 20th anniversary edition has 19-inch gloss black painted alloys. So it has the same wheels that mine has, except they're painted black, gloss black. Side mirror caps and puddle lights with the special 20 years puddle light projection onto the ground. Then there's also going to be a blue R logo on the front grille, rear hatch, and front fenders. Special 20 years logo on the B pillars for the 20th anniversary edition. Steering wheel clip with the blue R logo on the 20th anniversary edition. And then that's pretty much it for the special things on the 20th anniversary edition. So now I'm tasked with, I have a list of 10 people for Golf Rs. Now I'm going to have to contact each and every one of them and split that list and say, do you want a 20th anniversary edition? Do you want the regular, or do you even care? Because it's to that point where if I can get my hands on a Golf R, if I'm a consumer, I'm going to take whichever I can get. If it's 20th anniversary edition, fine, I'll deal with that. If it's 20th anniversary edition, fine, I'll deal with that. It's a Golf R. I'll still keep it. Let's see. Is the Golf R 22 a big noticeable difference from driving a 22 GTI thinking of upgrading to an R? Absolutely. Okay. Both of these cars have a unique dynamic. I've owned both. I've owned the 2016 GTI. I haven't owned the new Mark 8 GTI, but I've driven them around on a lot, driven them to run errands, whatever. So I've driven both, but here's what I will tell you. Golf R has a whole different driving dynamic than the GTI. The thing about the GTI that's always been fun, that car's front wheel drive only. When you put your foot in it, that front end torque throws you back in a seat. Golf R do that, but it takes more because it's all-wheel drive. All four wheels are turning instead of just two. And there's a noticeable difference. And when you put your foot into that GTI, maybe into a corner or a turn or something like that, that back end wants to break loose. Golf R doesn't do that. It's too sure-footed. It's much more refined. It's I don't dare say passive. It's just restrained a little bit compared to a GTI. So if you want that fun, whipping donuts in the snow, all that stuff, you can do it with both. You're going to put your Golf R in drift mode. You're going to drift a little bit. But that GTI, yeah, it's got its own dynamic. So it's its own bucket of fun. The Golf R is a different bucket of fun. And I know I'm kind of going on and getting excited, but that's how that car is. You can't compare the two. The body's the same. They're just different types of fun, and they're both fun as hell. I will say that. So while we're on that subject, I'll say some things about what I do like about my Golf R and what I don't. Absolutely love. Haven't had this in all the Volkswagens I've sold nearly 1,500 Volkswagens. So in my career. So what I like about the Golf R, there's a feature on there where I can walk up to the car and it senses the key fob. It automatically unlocks before I even get to the door handle. So I walk by it. The offside of that, if my car's parked in the driveway and locked and I'm mowing the yard, every time I make a pass near that car with the leaf blower or something, I'm not mowing next to my car. Everybody their heart just went up in their throat. No, I move my car across the street. But when I'm out with the leaf blower blowing back the clippings and stuff like that, I'll get close enough proximity and it'll trigger the unlock. And it does lock back, but I don't like the fact that it unlocks and I got stuff in the car and somebody could kind of sneak in there. I am in St. Louis, and right now we're having kind of a theft spree, especially with Kias and Hyundais. So I know it's not a Kia or Hyundai, but hey. Another feature that I like about the Golf R is the memory seats on the side. I mean, you can get that in the GTI Autobahn. That's no, or you can get in an SE if you get the seat package. But I love that memory seat. The heated steering wheel is nice. The heated steering wheel wasn't always a thing. Now it is. Here's the thing I don't like. I have to go through the infotainment system to turn on a heated seat. So I have to go to the climate button, bring up the climate control, or touch the little icon there, which brings up the climate control on the screen, then touch it there. Here's the thing that I don't think Volkswagen engineers thought of, and I hadn't thought of until I had a passenger in a car. I'm driving along, minding my own business. I'm driving highway speeds. My wife looks at me and says, I want my heated seat on. Okay. Climber, look for it, touch it. She doesn't know how to do it, so I've got to do it while I'm driving. Look over, oh, look at the road, look over, touch, 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 3 steps. It should just be a button. Heated seat for passenger should just be a button. Same with climate control. When you reach up there and touch that screen, I don't mind the screen. A lot of critics of that screen, but that screen, I'm fine with it. Once you're adjusted to it, there's no big deal. To me, I sit in the driveway, I start the car, or actually I'm in the garage. I open the garage, start the car, set the drive mode to comfort because I live on section concrete, which is really bumpy. So comfort mode squashes that, knocks, almost takes all of that out. So that's a great feature in that car, by the way. The DCC comfort mode. I haven't tweaked it other than what the factory settings are, but it makes a noticeable difference immediately because that car is by default starts in sport mode for your ride, and then you have to change it to comfort, but it immediately dampens it to a point where it's a much smoother ride with those low profile tires and summer tires, I might add. Another thing that I do like about the car, I love about the car, the get up and go. Of course, I drive it like I stole it. I don't drive speed limits. I just don't. I have a radar detector. I got an Escort radar detector. Here was a detractor though. When I had that radar detector at first, I put it up in the center of the dash. The cord comes down. It has to go over or beside the infotainment system because that screen's right here. So the cord has to come down this side or it comes over the top. That's unsightly to have it over the top, so it comes down the side, of course. But the cigarette adapter that it plugs into is way down here back by my hip, almost to where the armrest is by the seat. So that cord is stretching from that plug-in up to the windshield. I definitely ended up getting the went to Best Buy, 26 bucks. I bought, I think it was actually, it might have been 14 bucks. I don't remember now. It was 13.99 or it might have been on sale, but Escort makes a smart plug where you plug it in and you just wire it. I had one of my guys at work just wire it in the fuse box over here, and now my radar detector sits over here in the corner. So it's on when the car's on. That was a detractor. Let's see here. Let's see. Is the Atlas getting a redesign in 2023? No idea yet. Now, it's been out since 2021 or actually 2020. So we're getting to that point where it probably should. And if you look at the Chinese market, that usually is a trendsetter there. Atlas over there, which is not called Atlas. Excuse me, I have a yawn. It's not called Atlas, it's called Terramont. Did get a refresh. They got new tail lights, new headlights, and some funky new quilted design on the interior. We kind of think, we suspect that some of those elements are coming here. We don't usually get all of them, but we get some of them. Infotainment system. They've been testing that. Don't know when that's coming. We know it's coming soon. So they're changing out the infotainment system and that shifter. The shifter is going to be more like the GTI Golf R with that little nub where the key fob's bigger than the shifter is. Let's see. My wife has a 22 Tiguan SEL in white and got it because of your channel and how you show the differences in trim. Awesome. Well, that's awesome. It really helped her make a decision on what trim to get. That's awesome. I appreciate that. That's kind of why I do these now. In the beginning, I did this. What's funny about this YouTube thing is when I started this, I was just doing it to get people in St. Louis to come see me and get my name out. I failed miserably at doing that. What really happened was I got buyers from all over the country. I get people from all over the world. I didn't anticipate that. I didn't foresee that. But it's been a hell of a ride. I love it. Um, oh, and I'm coming up on 8 million views. So tell your friends, whatever, help me get to 8 million views, help me get to 10,000 subscribers. Help me get there. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Back to Golf R. Things that I do like, things that I hate. Well, there's nothing that I hate, but just don't like. We've been told we cannot order at our store. How come you guys are able to? Okay, James Garan, I'll tell you exactly why. That is a market manager or a FOM or SOM. You might know those terms. That is their decision whether or not they want to order or not. A lot of it's due to me and me having YouTube, and I order a lot of cars for people out of state, where my dealership is known for ordering cars. We order a ton of cars. Right now, I think I have 17 cars on order. So that's not normal for Volkswagen. That's definitely not normal, but we had a peak. At a peak, we were at 33 cars. So I order more cars than anybody in the central region, and they don't really, I think that's a big enough chunk where they don't want to shut that off. We've gone through 2 market managers now, and they just keep it going. We submit the orders. They have to hand fill them. They hand match them. They do all of that. So there's a lot of legwork. There's a lot of extra steps to match ordered cars. Because when you order a car, it doesn't really go to factory. It never even makes it there. They match it in the regional pool. And that's what's going on. And your market manager or your SOM probably doesn't want anything to do with it. And that's why some markets, they're not ordering cars and others they are. And then sometimes it just boils down to the dealership level itself. They don't want to be bothered. They want to sell. Car dealerships don't think about future business. They think about now. So a lot of the old school mentality is still there. Sell what we got in stock. Don't talk about ordering cars. Don't show them a green one when you can't get it. What can we do now? How much money do I have to take off the car to make you colorblind? How much do you really hate brown seats? How much do you really need a sunroof? What if we add it later? We're not about that. We order the cars. I have a funnel that I keep full. I have people all the time, whether it be ordered cars, so slow months, ordered cars come in, and it supplements my month. It helps out. So it's a win-win for us. So that's totally up to your market manager and probably your management at the dealership. I would doubt it's the dealership more so than the upper management, the regional manager for your region. Let's see here. Is it me or does the Arteon seem a bit outdated from the interior? Why not do a tablet style info radio? Love the exterior. So here's the thing about Volkswagen. Volkswagen's very slow and methodical. If you notice, the interiors are similar no matter what the car. Arteon, Atlas, Crossport, Tiguan, Jetta. It's pretty much more the same. Audi's the same way. E-tron, the Q3, the Q5, the A5, the A6, all of that. Now, Audi does understand it's a luxury brand. It needs to be a little more bougie, so it does bougie stuff. But if you look at an A-pillar and an A3, it's the same A-pillar that's in the Jetta. It's the A6, same A-pillar that was in a Passat. Although those cars, the A6 is still bigger than a Passat. They weren't built on the same chassis or platform, but that A-pillar is still the same. There's a lot of parts that are interchangeable and used through the Volkswagen brands. What 2023 Tiguan's have the third row? Any of them that are front wheel drive. That's easy. I have one on my lot now. Actually, I have three 2023s on my lot. An SEL-R-Line in silver, front wheel drive, 3 rows of seats. An SEL-R-Line in black, 3 rows of seats. And an SE with black interior and a sunroof, front wheel drive with 3 rows of seats. So you only get them with front wheel drive units. They changed that in 2022 with the refresh, where you could only get 3 rows of seats in a Tiguan with front wheel drive. Let's see here. Hey, Fred. Yep. I can't wait. But man, they're throwing me shade on these allocations on these Golf Rs. I'm rattling cages. We just got a new market manager, and I made sure to let him know. Look, I got all of these on order. Let's go. Let's get them. We're not on order, but I've got a wait list for all of these cars. Let's get some. And every time I see an allocation on here, I tell them about it. It's like, where's ours? Where's ours? So I'm being a pain in the ass to make sure we get these cars. Let's see here. Trying to take his James, I think I answered your question, James Grant. Yeah, that is kind of a regional thing. That's not necessarily store specific. So like I'm Central Region, and the stores that are in Central Region, we can order those cars. And James, where'd you say you were again? I think you said Tennessee, but I don't remember now. Let's see here. Execution. How are we? Yeah, 2023 Tiguan's front wheel drive only. And a lot of people will say 2023 Tiguan's, when can I get one? When are they going to be on the lots? Well, they're starting to trickle in now, unless you look in the Southeast region. Anywhere Hurricane Ian hit, I'm going to bet you that everything's a 2023, because they probably lost all of their 2022s if they had any on the lots. Here's what I want to do. I want to go down a list here of cars 2023s, just so we can kind of go over some things there. 2023, I'm going to start with Arteon. Arteon 2023s. I'm about to have one of each trim on my lot. This is a slow mover. Everybody knows that. The Arteon moves slow. People don't know about this car. It's an absolute sleeper. That is number one. It's a sleeper. People don't know about it. It's not advertised. Volkswagen doesn't want to throw advertising dollars at that. They have a pie, and the Arteon doesn't deserve much of that. Plus, the Arteon's getting phased out after this year. I'm not sure. I don't think there's going to be a 24 model. They're phasing it out in 2024, which makes me think that 2023 is it. It's an ID car. It's an Aero. ID Aero is going to replace Arteon. So that's going electric. So I'm going to have an SEL-R-Line front wheel drive, an SEL-R-Line all-wheel drive, and an SEL Premium R-Line all-wheel drive, all at the same time, and they're all black. Atlas, they're building them like crazy. They're waiting on parts and components. So they're storing them on the lot. Atlas, once this stuff hits, all of these parts and things or whatever that's going on at the factory get resolved, everybody's going to get dumped on with Atlases, because they're still building them, but there just aren't that many on lots. I have 2 Atlases. Both of them are silver. One's an SE with tech, with a black wheel package, sunroof, all decked out, every option you can get on it for $47,700. And then I have a SEL Premium R-Line in silver with bench seats. That car is the gold standard. That's the top of the line Atlas, but the color is not the color that most people want. That is the slowest moving color, of the bunch, pyrite silver. It's not a bad color. It's just it doesn't have a lot of buyers. Atlas Cross Sport. I have a turbo all-wheel drive and all-wheel drive V6. There's certain things that a Cross Sport has to have to absolutely blow off the lot. Black wheel package, panoramic sunroof, no deletes. Well, this one doesn't have the black wheel package, and it hasn't been there that long. We've had it maybe 2 weeks. They're going to be building those up too. Same issue, radios. I think there's maybe be some quarter panels, or not quarter panels. There's some interior panels or something that they're running short on from a supplier. So all that stuff still has to be worked through. The trouble is when someone sees an R-Line, game over. SEL-R-Line Black Edition and SEL Premium R-Line, when people walk into the dealership, that's all anybody wants, and there aren't any to be found. If they are to be found, it's just because they're not the popular color. Pure gray, always gone. Gone in an instant, usually reserved before it gets there. Black, gone before it gets, or reserved before it lands. They don't do platinum gray for Cross Sport R-Lines. But opal white pearl, gone. every single one of those that showed up in our pipeline, it shows up on our website as an in transit. We'll easily get 12 to 15 phone calls per day on that car until it disappears off the website. And they're like, I'm sorry, it's sold. I'm sorry, that's sold, but you can order one. You can order one. And so all the time, those are being sought after. They're just hard to find. I didn't touch on the other part of your question about the tablet design for infotainment. I don't know that Volkswagen's going to get there anytime soon. Dodge is doing that. Dodge Ram, I should say, and Tesla, of course, is the one that kind of started that. I think Ford is doing that with these big iPad-sized screens. I just don't think Volkswagen's buying into that yet. They are testing out this new infotainment system, and I think it's the one that's going into the Golf, and it's that's in the Golf and Golf R and ID4. I think that's kind of what they're married to at the moment. However, they did make a commitment as well to back away from capacitive touch on steering wheel controls. So the buttons are coming back. I'm not sure when that's going to be reversed, but that is coming as well. So I left off with Atlas Crossport. Let's see. So then there's Jetta. Jetta has been a challenge all year long. Jetta, we had a guy walk in literally at the beginning of the model year for 2022 and ordered 10 Jettas for his business. He needed 10 Jettas. He's only gotten 5 of them, and we're 7 months in. He ordered them all in blue. So those are still getting worked through the system. So what that does to our allocations is it absolutely sucks them dry. So we do not have anything in Jettas in the pipeline that isn't pre-sold. You have to, at my dealership, you have to order a Jetta. You have to reserve one. If I magically get one and they're gone, when they show up in the pipeline, they're reserved within 3 days. So every Jetta that I've sold this year has been one that I had to order. I just ordered and delivered a Jetta SE. I just got a Jetta S matched. And to give you an idea how high demand the Jetta is, the guy that's buying this car is coming from Florida to Missouri to get a Jetta. And the last customer that I sold the Jetta S to also came from Florida. So hi, everybody in Florida. Florida and Texas right now are becoming a hotbed for me. So I don't mind it. You get to come see me and I sell you a car and I don't mark it up. No surprises, no games, and you get to drive it home. Pretty cool. Let's see. Golf GTI and Golf R, I kind of skipped the G's. I kind of already touched on those. GTIs are not going to be as hard to get as the others, but they will be hard. Let's see. What am I missing here? Passat's done. We know that. No more Passats. ID4. Okay, so here's a big news on an ID4. Now that they're being built in Chattanooga, the fulfillment time has definitely come down. The longest I had a customer wait was 18 months. Now we're looking at getting back down to that 6-month window-ish. We have earned ID4s that are not spoken for. So we earned a black ID4 all-wheel drive Pro S, black on black. And as soon as we got that allocation, I had it reserved in 4 hours. That gentleman's coming from Tennessee. I still have a pure gray with black or Galaxy black interior, all-wheel drive Pro S that is available and is about to be loaded on a truck and shipped to the dealership. So it may actually make it to the dealership unreserved. That would be incredible because that just doesn't happen. And this car has been ordered, and we have standing orders for this car. Speaking of that, if your local dealer is marking up the car and you're willing to travel to St. Louis to pick your car up, order your ID4 and pick my dealership and pick it up there. We won't mark the car up. We just sell it at MSRP, and then you're done with it. Let's see here. Why did VW stop making hybrids? Do you see them coming back to that? I don't think so. And I just saw a story that they may actually be studying hydrogen, kind of following after Honda. Honda's tested hydrogen hybrid and natural gas. Um, so I think they're going to go the hydrogen route. I think a lot of people are going to go to hydrogen route. I can't see everybody's talking the electric game that they're going to go fully electric. I just don't see how that plays out in our current global atmosphere. We don't have the infrastructure to support all of that. And especially people in California can probably already identify with that. You already deal with rolling blackouts. You already get requests not to charge your vehicle between certain hours. PG&E shuts down entire networks or grids anytime there's a high wind danger or a red flag warning for fire or anything like that. They learned their lesson after that campfire where all of those people died, and um, that might be the wrong fire, but there was a big one out in California where PG&E got sued and they filed for bankruptcy. All of that, and in that big outage last year in Texas. Um, those are things to think about when you talk about having an electric car, your neighbor having one, and your stepsister and that guy over there. What happens when everybody plugs in at once? What happens when a tornado blows through and rips out a grid? You know, those things are things that they're not talking about, but I think about. The other thing is, I don't think electric cars get better than 30% of the marketplace. They won't penetrate more than 30% of the market share. I just can't see that actually making it there. And there's a lot of manufacturers out there that have made the commitment to abandon gas powered engines. So hydrogen's probably where they're going to go. Hybrid, maybe. The only hybrids I remember were a Touareg and a Jetta, and that was when I first started with Volkswagen. And that hybrid Jetta, man, that thing was a star. But there was no marketing or anything behind it, and they sat on lots forever because no one wanted to try it out. Or man, that was a great car though. Let's see. Still in love with my Moonstone Gray ID4. Buttons don't bother me at all. Wish they were lighted though. Yeah, the I think that's kind of where we're at because my Golf R has the same kind of panels as your ID4 does. The light switches are over here on the left of the steering wheel. The defroster's there. All that stuff's on that little octagonal kind of um, pad there. Um, I'm not a fan of your window switches, though. I'm not a fan of the two button setup where you touch rear to do the rear and all of that. I like my four buttons. Four buttons. Um, the ID4, how many miles do you have on that? The average PC gamer, how many miles do you have on your ID4? Hey, Reese, would you eventually sell your Golf R? If so, I want to buy it. I don't remember if you said it before. I may do it, but right now I'm enjoying that car. I've already got 8,600 miles on it. I put the PPF on the front. I'm probably going to find a set of I may not do it. So I'm kind of wishy-washy on this one. So if I don't hold me to it, if I don't do this, but the Pretoria wheel that the Golf R previously came with, I'm thinking I'm going to get a gloss black set of those and do some winter tires on it if the winter gets really bad. Because if the snow gets really bad, I'm keep leaving my car in the garage and I'm taking my wife's Cross Sport to work. It's all-wheel drive. It's an R-Line black. She loves that thing, and she's not going anywhere. She works from home, so yeah, I got a backup. I did just for grins do a KBB on my car. My car has a retail value of 52.9. I about fell out of my chair. So KBB says my car is worth well over MSRP. So keep that in your pocket. And when I sell it, I may sell it to you, but I might be looking for a little bit more. Let's see here. These companies have 20 to 30-year plans. I'm sure they considered that. You might be right. But things happen, things change. Everybody has plans, and you know what? Cities always had plans, but they don't stick to them. They abandon them sometimes. I mean, most people complain about their city's infrastructure being behind and all that. Well, they had a plan for it. They didn't follow it. They didn't stick with it. But you're probably right. 70,000 miles on a 2021 Tiguan R. Man, that's a lot of miles. You drive a lot. No problem so far. That's awesome. Volkswagens are known for high miles. There's a guy, and he was watching earlier, or at least his wife was, who has a Jetta out in California. He has over 440,000 miles on it. It's an '04 Jetta. Thing looks pristine. So you can get a lot of miles out of it. I actually had a customer who bought a Passat for me that had a Jetta, and I asked her if she was trading in. She said, over my dead body, she broke 3 keys in that car, and it had 425,000 miles on it. It was an '01 Jetta, I believe an '01 Jetta stick shift. So both of those cars were Jettas. So they can be just absolute beasts. The thing about Volkswagen is make sure you do your maintenance, and that car will take care of you. If you keep up on all your maintenance, do it on time. Don't do it late. Don't stretch it out. I'll stretch it out to 70,000 miles. You won't have any problems. You won't at all. A lot of people think that they can just band-aid their cars when they need something and just kind of nurse it along. Yeah, you're going to get what you get. But Volkswagen, I'm on my 7th one. 7? Yeah, 7. I've had 2 Jettas. We still have a Jetta, a Tiguan, an Atlas Cross Sport, a GTI, and a Golf R. Yeah, 7 Volkswagens. So we've been around it. Say hi, Reese. Kevin, Columbia. Let's see. Do you think the Cross Sport will get the updated Terramana X interior? Long answer, or well, short answer, yes. When? No idea. We kind of thought there was going to be a refresh for 23 and a half, but now don't know. And Volkswagen has a right to change their mind and push things back or shelf things or cancel things. And right now, it looks like they may not be doing that for a bit. Supply is still an issue. Truck drivers are still an issue. Parts are still an issue. So they may put that on the back burner, which is all the reason more. I thought it was absolutely stunning to me to see that Volkswagen's going to offer 2 versions of the Golf R. I mean, we can't get enough of the one into people's hands, and now we have 2 versions. Same with the GTI. There's 3 versions of it, and now they've added a 4th. Who knows? The upper management there, they know what they're doing. At least they like to make us think they do. So we'll see how that goes. I have a coworker that has an '89 GLI with 550,000 miles. Wow, that's awesome. That's over 500,000 miles. Wow. Okay, that's the record right there. Perry, there he is. Perry, 443,999. All right, you got to send me a picture of 444,000. It's going to roll at the end of your driveway. So take a picture of it and send it to me. I'm going to use that. Let's see. James Grant, co-worker, send me a picture of that too. Oh, and we do have a guy that has a 2016 Passat SE, a Passat SE built in Chattanooga with 460,000 miles. He's a traveling salesman. He does every recommended service that the service department asks him to. It has rock chips. It has one center cap missing on one of the wheels. But other than that, you never know. And he's a University of Georgia Bulldogs fan. Georgia! I had to do that for him. Go Dogs. James, here, you can reach. I'll send you, here, I'll type my phone number in. You can shoot me a text. My phone number is on every freaking video, but here you go. Shoot me a text right there. You can message me, Facebook Messenger, Resells Cars. You can do all that. Let's see. Sorry, Roku disconnected. Less than 1,000 miles. I'm having it. I'm working on it. Awesome. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I was talking about ID4s. So you can actually get an ID4 now, walking on it a lot in some cases. They're not there very long, so you should have a salesman in your back pocket or something to let you know that they call you right when that ID4 lands or when it gets allocated. So like I said, I have a pure gray with Galaxy Black coming. It's an all-wheel drive Pro S, It is a 2023, which means it's Chattanooga built. That's available. And I do have a 2022 German built one coming that's on the water, that's coming from Germany. Not sure how we earned these in an allocation, but we did. Let's see here. I'm going to pull something up here. Go in the old hub. Let's see. And I'm going to search for ID4. So ID4 is broken out by ID4 and ID4 US. There's two versions. Of course, the ID4 US is going to be the one. It's a 2023. So ID4 at port, there are two. Those are spoken for. Those are reserved. One in transit from factory. That one's available. It's dusk blue with lunar gray leatherette. So that's coming from Germany. That one will be available. ID4 USA. There's 4 total in the pipeline. The pure gray one, Galaxy black interior, is $53,738. So that one will be available. There's 2 at factory. These are both sold units, so those are reserved. And there's another 6 back on the wait list. So one of those is a standard with pure gray and stone. All of these are spoken for, but ID4s are starting to loosen up a little bit. I really miss my Jetta. It was a blast to drive. GLI Marcus, was it a GLI or was it a just a regular Jetta? And Madison, I absolutely agree with you. If it went from 184 to 230, 250 horsepower, what are you trying to do? That's a Tiguan R. That well, okay, a Tiguan R has more horsepower, but man, yeah, we would sell more of those cars. But I have to tell you that price would go up too, and people would have a problem with that. Oh, speaking of Tiguan, I didn't get to Tiguan. We got to GTI, Jetta, ID4. I kind of touched on ID4s, 2023s, all-wheel drive. The Pro S Plus is sold out. You can't order that car. So you're going to have to look around. Maybe somebody will back out of one and you'll get one. And they don't have the premium audio. They initially said they were going to have premium audio in those, and they deleted it. They actually decided not to do that. The ID4 standard, which was the entry level one, which is the one they were touting that you could get for under 30 grand with tax credits. And don't ask me about tax credits. I don't know. Consult your tax professional. That's what they want us to tell you. And they've muddied the water so bad on that, we don't even get involved in it. You have to go through your tax professional to figure out what you qualify for, what it does, how you claim it, and how much you get. They've made it so convoluted and just unexplainable. It's just, oh my God, it's brain damage. It's brain damage trying to figure it out. So ID4 standard sold out. You'll have to find one on a lot. Someone might have canceled or whatever, and it's not going to last long. GLI 6-speed 2017. Oh man, that was a great car. That was the old body style of Jetta. That was one of my favorite body styles. What's your opinion of the Taos? James Grant, I'm gonna be straight with you. It's not for everyone. The Taos was built with a purpose. The Taos was built to be entry level for people on a budget and to compete with Seltos, Trax, Encore, Tucson, stuff like that. And those are all cheap cars. And those are cars that GM or whoever's selling them, not for what's the Ford one? It's not the Escape. It's an Eco Smart or something like that. I forget what that car is called, but it's a smaller Ford. But that is designed to fit in that category, and it's a fine line between fitting in the category size wise and price wise. So that car has to fit in a box for pricing. So that car with nothing on it, stripped down bare bones, S, no safety features, no blind spot, none of that stuff, is $25,800. You start adding stuff to that car, it becomes 26, 27, 28. An SE is 31 grand. and the SEL for 2022 was 37 grand. That's now backed off a little bit because they've incorporated this panoramic sunroof into the SEL. So now they're about 36 grand. So that starts getting pricey, and that starts knocking that car kind of out of that category, that box that it wants to compete with. Fuel economy, it's there. Size wise, it's there. So that car has some things that it does that a Tiguan would have that doesn't have, and that's by design. So they have to eliminate things to make that car fit. So the Taos, Volkswagen aficionados, you love that car, or you hate that car. That's the best way to put it. It doesn't have the sound dampening that a Tiguan has, or a Jetta has, or a Passat has, or an Atlas, because they didn't have room in the budget for it. This is my opinion, though. It does have heated seats. You can get it with a heated steering wheel. You can get it with a remote start. It doesn't have a power lift gate. You add a power lift gate to that car, you're adding $400 to that car. You add, let's see, the privacy cover to that, you're adding another $200 to that car. You add the fancier LEDs instead of LED chamber lights, you're adding probably another $300 to that car. All of those things, and if you add keyless entry to the S, you're adding probably another $150 to the car. There's so many, wireless charging, you add that to the S, now you're adding probably another $150. Those things are things that they keep out of the car on purpose to get that car to compete with the other cars in that class. Safety wise, though, Taos, I wouldn't want to be caught in another car in a crash. Volkswagens are super safe all the way through the trim levels. That's one thing they don't cut corners on, is safety. So that Taos S, I'm safe in that. I'm safe in a Tiguan. I'm safe in a ID4. I'm safe in an Atlas. I'm safe in all of those cars. So safety is huge in those cars. I personally like the Taos, but I think the Taos S, if it's equipped right, is a stellar unit. If you get, I'm selling one to a guy in Texas. He's coming in from Texas, Amarillo, Texas, to buy an all-wheel drive Taos S. This thing has, I think it has IQ drive on it. I'm pretty sure it had IQ drive on it. It has blind spot, all of that stuff, the heated steering wheel, and heated front seats. We're actually going to powder coat the wheels black on this one, gloss black, because they did change the wheels where you only get those black wheels on the front wheel drive Taos S. You get the regular wheels that are on the SE. Now they're just silver on the Taos S all-wheel drive. So we learned that lesson. We've heard a lot of people canceling orders because interest rates went up. That's absolutely true. Knock on wood, I'm not having that issue. Where I'm at, my cars, I get a pretty fast turn rate. They're usually 90 to 120 days on ours. Volkswagen as a brand, I don't know if that's happening. Volkswagen isn't ordering a lot of cars. It's just I am. I am, because I'm in a market that allows it. But other brands, yes, people are dumping their orders left and right just because interest rates are going up, and those people are waiting 18 months for a car. 18 months from now, what do interest rates look like? You can't project the future. But man, I don't want to be on the hook for a car that costs $30,000 and be stuck with an $800 car payment because there's no options. It's you can't blame them. Let's see. Honda HR-V looks good, but it has less horsepower than a Tig. I agree with you. No one builds a bad-looking car. No one builds an ugly car. There were cars of the past. They were kind of ugly. Nissan Juke, not a fan. Isuzu Via-Cross, not a fan at all. That was a hideous car. Certain iterations of the Ford Escape, not a fan. Let's see. I owned a 2009 CC, 2015 Passat, and 2021 Tiguan. 2015 Passat, solid car, wasn't it? Tiguan, love that car. Nissan Cube, yeah. Let's take a brick and put it on wheels. Ford Flex, same thing. Oh my gosh, I hate Ford Flexes. It's a brick on wheels. It's an aerodynamic brick, or non-aerodynamic brick. It's anti-fuel economy is what that is. I mean, no, just stick your hand up out the window. That's what a Ford Flex is to me. No. It's like driving a UPS truck. The Scion TC, absolutely correct. Those cars were hideous. Let's see. Um, 2023 overall, everything everything out there now has 2023s on the ground. We're now to a point where the 2023s are starting to show up. If you're waiting for GTI though, those are going to be slow. I think everybody's got a shot at a GTI S already. We already got one and sold it. I had to order a second one. I have one on order for a customer who's actually local. But that's it for GTIs. I get a feeling though that those are going to start showing up soon because it takes a little bit for them to build them, load them on ships, and bring them over. And we learned from the Felicity Ace, those things can hold 4,000 cars. So if there's one ship that's dedicated to all Volkswagens, that's 4,000 units or whatever it is. But Arteons come on that ship. ID4s come on that ship. Golf Rs and GTIs all come on that ship. So they're probably mixing it between all of those. Let's see. 2023 GLI. No one's asked a question about it, but I'm sure it's going to come soon. The GLI, we aren't seeing anything yet. I don't have any on order, but I'm sure they're going to start showing up soon. There's no real changes with the 2023. Like I said earlier, I did have a customer tell me he heard a rumor about a 40th anniversary edition GLI. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was out there. Let's see. FYI, man, VW and Reese, best and straightforward. Awesome. Thank you. Tiguan 2024 major overhaul. Do not know. Trouble is what's muddy the water. When we do a search, we get all these hits on these changes to a 2023, 2024 Tiguan, but it's Europe. It's not the States. Europe had that new body style of Tiguan or that refreshed Tiguan 2 years before we did. It was a year and a half, actually. So the refreshed Tiguan was over there before it showed up here. Plus the Tiguan over there, they do a Tiguan all space and a short body Tiguan, whereas in the States we do the LWB or what we call the long wheelbase Tiguan, and that's it. Don't know for sure. And we're not going to know until the training materials show up. And then at that point, it means they've stockpiled them. They've made them invisible where we can't see them. And then all of a sudden they'll show up. That's kind of how that goes. Let's see here. We got a Kingfisher Blue Arteon SEL-R-Line, and we swapped the wheels for the 2019 SEL Black. The wheels look amazing. Yeah, that Kingfisher Blue is going to be something else. I haven't seen it yet. In fact, send me a pic of that, a pic that I can use. You got to give me permission to use it. I want to use it. I want to see what that car looks like, and I'm definitely going to use it. Yeah, Volkswagen's kind of frustrating in all these different colors they use. We never seem to get them though. All of our Arteons are black. All of our Tiguans, black, white, gray, or silver. Okay, we did get Atlantic blue on Tiguans, but there were three of the same. They're all blue, Atlantic blue with cinnamon interior, and they were all front wheel drive. They did finally send us an all wheel drive one at the end. But you look at our lot, it looks like you don't even see in color. It looks like it's monochromatic, and that's at lots all over the country. It doesn't matter what brand, black, white, gray, and silver. The pandemic has really, really affected that. So when you see a red car, pow, it pops. A blue car, wow, it pops. Yellow, green, they stand out now. Volkswagen does have bold colors, but the trouble is they limit them. King's Red. King's Red is available on a Tiguan, but the problem with that is it's not available on the SE-R-Line Black Edition. It would look stupid sick on an SE-R-Line Black Edition and King's Red. Man, take my money. Or an SEL-R-Line with Noisette brown and black leather interior in King's Red. That would look stupid. You can't get a Tiguan SEL-R-Line in red. You can't. Black, white, gray, or silver, or blue. That's it. Let's see. On the GTI, the 40th anniversary edition, they're bringing back Tornado Red. Tornado Red is available on the GTI, the 40th anniversary edition, but they're doing King's Red on the others. The blues, Cornflower Blue. I think that would look really good on a new Mark 8. The body's a little different. I hope it wouldn't look bloated, but I don't think it would. cornflower blue looked spectacular on the Rabbit Edition GTI. It looks great on the Taos. They need to get some bold colors in there, but I think we may see something like that again once COVID and COVID-related issues and supply chain issues wane a little more. Right now, they just want to build the cars and get some numbers, sell numbers. So they're building cars in the colors they know people buy. Black, white, gray, and silver they're boring as all get out, but they're the colors that people buy. Platinum gray is actually in short supply. Because when those cars land, if I get a platinum gray anything, gone fast, especially in Tiguan's, because we never get them. I have 7 black Tiguan's. Most of them have cinnamon interior or black interior. I have like 4 silver Tiguan's. Those are slow movers, but they do go. Let's see. You saw that looked bluish purple from the factory. I think Arteon did do Atlantic blue at one point. That's probably the color you saw, because that does have a purple hue, especially when you get towards dusk, or you see that with like street light, artificial light around it. It looks purplish. Any Mark 8 GLI going for production? I don't see any as of yet. Here, I'm going to see if I can even search GLI while I'm sitting here. I don't think that they're actually, let's see, Jetta, PA. Let's see. Jetta? No, I can't even search Jetta. Let's see. No, it shows up here, but I can't go any further than just, it doesn't show me trims. Let's see if it does anything. 2023 Jettas. Oh, okay. So it did let me search them. SE. Aha! Success. There is a 2023 Jetta Autobahn, and there's one in Missouri. In transit from the factory. So it's still in Mexico. So it's not in Missouri yet, but it's allocated to a dealer. 135. So we did cross the $34,000 range. We didn't hit 35. But that's a GLI Autobahn. Let's see here. So I'm going to change this search. It didn't let me pick it up top, but it let me pick it down in the bottom here. So I will see 100 results for GLI Autobahn. So they're out there in transit from factory, There's one at port, factory, port. So just because they're at port doesn't mean they're getting ready to go to dealers. They're probably hiding these at port. I had to trick it and kind of go around. The fact that they're sitting at port, they could be holding them, because Volkswagen does do these coordinated releases where they make sure every dealer gets one. So they'll stack up at port and they'll just sit at port. They'll be allocated, but they won't move. And they'll have a certain date, and that's like a date where all of the truck drivers can drop one at dealers by like this date. So that way everybody has one at their dealership at the same time, so no one gets a fair advantage. Let's see. He loves his job, you can tell. Well, thank you. The YouTube stuff, it doesn't hurt. I've always just tried to find a way to keep busy and make wherever I worked, I wanted it busier. Why aren't we busy? Okay, let's build that. Let's do this. Let's do that. So it's kind of the same thing here. Let's see. On the 2023, so there's Autobahns there, GLIs. So they're coming, and they all look like the ones that are priced. It looks like the manual 34,089. Here's another manual one. That's 33,600. So they're somewhere between 33 and 34. An auto for 34,400. So they're still under 35 grand. They're 34 grand. And some change. This one, that's a manual. Let's see. Pure white, pure gray, black roof, pure gray, black roof, pure gray, pure gray. So it looks like we should start seeing GLIs Oh, well, they're showing December 31st for ETAs to January 8th. So, right around New Year's, you should probably see these at dealerships. Um, let's see. Any other questions out there? Let me see. Cream color, off white. I want to see. Uh, 2020. James Grant. Yes and no. I did a search. I was able to search for 2023 Tiguan SEL-R-Lines. I think I got a hit, 23 hits. Of the 23, one did not have deleted ventilated seats. The rest of them all had it. So that ventilated seat delete stays around for 2023. It doesn't mean it stays around for the model year. So I'm not going to say, oh, all of them have it, because there one squeaked through that had ventilated seats. So I had to specifically search for one that had ventilated seats, and I got one. And that was a nationwide search, but there was that search only netted 23. So they do exist, barely, but I think we're stuck with that. And I've told two customers that want to order a Tiguan because of the seat delete that they're going to have to order it, and we're going to have to make sure that the match is one that doesn't have a ventilated seat delete. And I don't know how long we'll be able to sustain that. They're probably just going to tell us, hey, look, we're still deleting the seat for 23. Let's see here. Can I still get a Golf R at MSRP? Otherwise, can I pick up a 22? I can pick up a CF for the same price of a marked up R. Well, my dealership is doing a Golf R at MSRP, but the catch is I got to be able to get one to sell it to you. I have 10 people ahead of you waiting. I can add you to the list, but I don't know. You kind of have to do a temperature check. As like I alluded to earlier, Golf R's, they're out there in the pipeline, but I'm pretty sure that those dealers that are getting them are going to mark them up. Let's see. Are dealers making bigger profits since COVID? Absolutely, they were. Not so much now. The markets, I kind of say it is curtailing, or it's not collapsing, but it's curtailing a lot. Where those markups and stuff, you're going to see those disappear because here's the thing. Interest rates, let's say someone gets a 7% interest rate. You got a car marked up 15 grand. First off, let's say you mark up a car is 45 grand, you mark it up 15 grand, that car is now 60 grand. I'm not saying that's what a Golf R is going for or anything like that. I'm just using round numbers. You mark that car up 15 grand, you've already watered down the pool of people who are going to buy that car now. They would have bought it at 45 grand. Now, I'm out. I'll never see that value in that car. I'll never see that value. So unless I bring 15 grand to the table to wipe out that markup, I'm already upside down, and I pretty much guaranteed I'm upside down till I pay that car off. I know that doesn't sound like that makes sense, but at least the first four, if I do a 5-year note, I'm upside down in that car for at least the first 4 years, probably 4.5 years. If I do a 6-year note on that car, I'm upside down probably until deep in the year 5 with that markup. And then now that the market is correcting itself, KBB and Black Book kind of followed the market. They didn't want to, but they followed the market with these superheated prices for retail and wholesale on cars. But now that that's correcting itself in auctions, now cars are selling below asking at auction on used cars. Yeah, there's a correction coming, and there's no way there's no way to support that. An 8% interest rate on a car that's marked up 15 grand. Yeah, most banks are going to say, pass. I'm not carrying that unless they bring 15, 20 grand to the table or we're just not going to carry that loan. The dealer, you're going to have to sell that car at less. You can sell that car at MSRP. I'll back the loan at MSRP or MSRP. Well, I'll back the car at 105%, but I won't back it at 106 or more, kind of thing. So banks do that. So you may not get a loan on that car unless you bring the markup to the table as a down payment or more. And a lot of people don't have to do that. Let's see. Hook me up with a rear spoiler for the GLI 2022. Does it come painted from the factory? I think that's a black spoiler, so I want to say yes, because it doesn't come body colored. It comes black. I think that's supposed to be black on the 22. So I think that just comes already black. I might be wrong about that. The parts department, I'd have to check with. When I purchased my 2021 Tiguan in December 2020, my interest rate was 1.5. Yep. My Golf R, I got a 3.2% interest rate, and that was good. I had a decent credit score. I was right at 700. I think I was 698 in one and 710 in another. So it balanced out somewhere in there. But I got a 3.12% interest rate with Capital One. And that was back in May, and nothing was collapsing yet. That was just a good rate. Now, yeah, I'm not going to get that. I can't get into rates too. So if someone's going to ask me the question about rates, I don't know. I don't handle that. I know what I got. And I know I got good deals on both my car and my wife's car because my credit was stronger. It was stronger than it had been in the past. But man, this market is really changing things. So if people don't have down payments, they're going to have really high jaw-dropping payments. I had someone that we tried to get them into a Tiguan SEL-R-Line, and their payment was going to start with an 8. They were poor credit though, but their payment was going to start with an 8 on a Tiguan front-wheel drive SEL-R-Line. So they walked away from that because they already had a car that worked. And a lot of people are going to start doing that where they say, my car's fine. I don't need a new car. So, but keep in mind too, a lot of people don't have the choice to buy a car. They have to buy a car. So a car got totaled or a family member needs a car. They're handing that down. So they need a replacement car. To me, it still makes sense to get a new car over a used car, because the used cars are still artificially inflated. Plus, you're getting someone else's headache, someone else's problem. Remember, every used car gets traded in for a reason. Usually it's simple. Yeah, it's out of warranty, or the warranty's up, or it was a lease. I could only lease it for 48 months. I'm done with that. But right now, speaking of leasing, if you're in a lease now, you leased it 2018, 2019 or whatever, and it's coming due now. I guess it wouldn't be 2018, maybe 2019, 2020. You're on the front side of COVID and lockdowns and all that stuff. Keep your car. I'm only going to say that once. Keep your car. Buy your lease. Buy your lease. Otherwise, I'm happy to see you. I'll take you out of it. But that lease payment you had before, you're not keeping this time. You're not going to get to keep the same $300 payment, $200 payment that you had before. No way in hell, unless you come to the table with more money down, and I mean a lot. So there's a lot of equity to be captured in lease turn-ins now. So if you haven't heard it by now, there's a lot of people out there saying it. Buy your lease. Buy your lease. Keep it. Wait for this market to change. Keep your lease. Let's see here. Let's see. When I love what you do, want to thank you for your videos. Thank you. F Sprags. Thank you. Let's see here. My credit union is currently offering 4.15 interest for 60 months. Top tier credit. Let's see. Yeah. All right, Gary. That's funny. This stream was informative, helpful. Thank you. I tend to ramble, so I think I've done a good job of not rambling this time. But the thing about the interest rates, some things you want to consider, especially if you're looking at buying a car now. Yes, interest rates are higher. There aren't going to be cheap deals. There's people out there that have the mentality now that deals are back. They're not. There are some incentives there, but incentives are double-edged. Everybody, a consumer views an incentive as something for them, a discount on a car, something to make it worth their while, something to get them off the couch to come by. Yes, that's true, but at the same time, a manufacturer looks at that incentive as a way to move stagnant units. If a unit is not stagnant, i.e. Golf R, GTI, GLI, stuff like that, they aren't going to offer incentives on it because they don't need to. They can't even build the car fast enough. ID4, ID4s are MSRP. That's it. You can't move that car. You don't need incentives to move that car. You don't. So there's not going to be a special rate finance for that. If you own a car now and you're close to paying it off, make sure you keep full coverage insurance on the car. Do not go to liability, especially in this dangerous market now with the car prices and availability of cars, what it is. If you have full coverage on your car, it pays off your car. It pays off the remainder. If you were upside down in that car, hopefully you had gap insurance, because gap insurance covers the difference between what the insurance company settles for and what the bank is owed. So you need that. Also, what I was talking about liability insurance. Liability only covers damage you do to somebody else or their car, not you at all. So if your car ends up totaled, you're out of luck. Even though you had insurance, it doesn't pay anything to you. It pays for damage to other cars. That's it. So in this market, you had a car, might have been worth $5,000. It was the jalopy, but it worked for you. You hit somebody else, no harm, no foul. It fixes their car. It covers their medical bills and all that stuff. But your car got totaled. You are out of luck. That car doesn't drive. It's not fixable, whatever else. Now you got to go buy a car at whatever price Jim Bob's dealership down the street is selling it for, and you're kind of in a pickle. So make sure you keep full coverage. It at least covers your car, it makes you whole, and it gives you it could give you replacement money. The gap insurance thing, though, on these cars now, especially with the prices of them, please make sure you have gap insurance. If you don't get it from your dealer, get it from somewhere, but have gap insurance, because you do not want to be stuck with paying off a car. If you don't have gap insurance and you total a car that's $46,000, the insurance company gives you $36,000, that's a $10,000 gap. You got to make that up. And the insurance company is not usually going to be patient with you and say, okay, we'll give you a year to pay us $10,000 to cover that. No. We need the title. We need that car. We need to mark that car off, send it to auction, send it to the crusher, send it wherever. You need to pay up that $10,000. You don't have time to do that. You don't have the luxury to do that. Let's see here. Liberty Mutual is a partner with Volkswagen, so they do great rates. Oh, the other thing I wanted to go over, we're talking about buying cars or people buying cars. If you have challenge credit, and I'm just going to say this to help, I know that's not what this forum was about or this chat was about. Let's say you have challenge credit. Your credit score starts with a 5 or it starts with a 6. 6 is not terrible, but in this market with high rates, you're gonna get it stuck to you. Make sure you have your ducks in a row. If you're challenge credit, if you have under 700 credit score, that's me. Depending on what day of the week it is, because I'm teetering right now where I'm low 700s. I got as high as 743, but it depends on where credit cards are for balances versus limits and things like that. Things fluctuate. Make sure you have these things in order. Challenge credit. Be prepared to go to a dealership and they tell you, you can't buy that car. You can't buy this car. You need to buy this car. It's not going to be the car you want. Understand that. And you have to accept that. For dealership to help you, a lot of times it's painful and pride gets in the way and you walk away from that dealership. You say, I'm leaving. They wanted to put me in a Jetta. I wanted an Arteon. Well, you can't do an Arteon just yet because the MSRP on that car is 46, 47, 51, unless you're going to come with a ton of money down. And when I say a ton of money down on a car with challenge credit like an Arteon that's 47 grand, you're going to need to come up with at least $10,000 to $15,000 down. Most people don't have that sitting around, especially with challenge credit. They have challenge credit for a reason. Another thing with challenge credit, you have to swallow your pride. When you go to a dealership, I get this all the time when people come in with challenge credit. They want to look at all these different cars. They want to look at this car and this car. And they're usually an SEL Premium R or an SEL-R-Line Tiguan, an SEL Jetta, or it's something top of the line. It's something bougie. It's something fancy because they want fancy. But you don't have the credit for fancy. You have to build. And the way you build, come prepared, pay all your bills on time. And I know that sounds condescending or whatever else, but banks, they look at two important things when they consider lending to people: housing and car payments. If you miss a car payment, oh, that kills it. You can have collections, but if you pay Wells Fargo, you pay Ally, you pay Volkswagen Credit, you pay US Bank, you pay them on time, you've never missed a payment, never even gone 30 days late, they look more favorably on that than someone who has no collections and went 30 days and 90 days late or went into repo on a car. So make sure you pay your car payment on time. The lights can get shut off. Pay your apartment lease and pay your car note on time every time. Housing and cars. That's what banks look at. That's where they put the most weight. All right. Below 650 is bad. Yeah. And unfortunately with banks, anything in the sixes now is kind of considered bad. Credit card debt, you're absolutely right. Credit card debt, remember 30%. 30%. If you have a credit card, it's great that you pay it off every month or whatever, but there's a snapshot that gets sent to the credit bureau at a certain point in time. So let's say you have $1,000 credit limit on your credit card and you charge up $800. But you pay it off every month. That's great. The credit card company's not charging you interest because you paid it off every month. However, if they report to a credit bureau while you have an $800 balance on there, you're using 80% of your available credit on that card. That's a ding. That's terrible. That's going to bring your score down at least 5 to 7 points, at least. So make sure you don't go over 30% on any of your credit cards. I made a spreadsheet on mine where I have it figured a percentage on each of those cards, where it should be, where I'm at, and I have it yellow if I'm out of that range, if I'm above that range, and it's green if I'm below that. So I have a number of cards that are at 20%, 18%, 22% on amount of available balance, not interest rate, because those are close to that too. I also have a couple of loans out there that are 0%. Like we bought a fence for our house that's 0% for 60 months. So I let that one go up. It's a ding on my credit, but I'll pay it off, and that it's at 0%, so it's not costing me interest, but it is costing me score points. But I can pay it down in lump sums or whatever and pay it off. As long as I'm paying more than the minimum, paying it down, it's still a downward trend. It's still a good trend. Back to what I was saying though, I kind of got off subject there. I read a couple comments. If you have challenge credit, paycheck stubs, most recent, okay? Don't lie on your credit app. Don't pad your earnings to make it look good, because that's fraud. That's bank fraud. And occasionally someone will take you to task on that. Current bank statement. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not bank statement. Paycheck stub, most recent, okay? Make sure it has year-to-date on it. That has to show your year-to-date earnings. You'll need that. A utility bill for proof of residence. Okay. So a house that you're at, a T-Mobile bill, an Enron bill, or Ameren bill, or KC Power and Light bill, whatever it is, wherever you're at, a gas bill, current bill. And on that bill, it cannot say past due. Okay. Make sure you have that. Also, driver's license. Make sure you have updated information on your driver's license, the new address. You should have that on there, just so it doesn't create any kind of suspicion. Be ready to have a bank statement with you. So print off a bank statement. They may not ask for it, but your most current bank statement. Please, no overdrafts on there or anything of that nature. If they are, they need to be at a minimum. I've been through all this. I've had all of this. It's been embarrassing for me. I speak from experience. I've had this happen. And I've built my score up way from a low of a 513 to a high of a 743, and I've done the same for my wife. My wife's a 750. So I kind of learned the stuff along the way. So make sure you take care of that. Let's see. Um, oh, there's another thing when I talked about don't go late on car payments and rent payments and things of that nature and credit cards, leases and car loans, and almost everything that you deal with on your credit report has a 30-day window. Okay. Credit cards do not, they're like 21 days. And on the day your credit card bill is due, if you can only pay the minimum, pay it on that day. At least because that tends to be a low amount, like 39 bucks, 40 bucks, 18 bucks, something like that. Pay the minimum on the date it's due. That way you don't get a late payment and you don't get a late charge. A late charge is 39 bucks, 29 bucks, 40 bucks. Best Buy, it's 40 bucks. I found that out the hard way. I set a payment in and I didn't hit submit, and this just happened to me 2 weeks ago, and I got a late payment ding. However, a late payment on a credit card at 21 days doesn't report to a credit bureau. You have to be 30 days late for it to report. So remember that 30 days after the due date, that's when they report you. So as long as you pay your bills, if it's just, man, I can't pay this, I can't pay that, I don't have the funds, I can't do it. If you can't even pay your minimum, just make sure you don't go to 30 days. 30 days, they'll report you. If you don't go to 30 days, you're fine. Car payments, 30 days late, that's a bad thing. 60 days late, oh my God. 90 days, they're looking for the car. Okay. So make sure you make those payments on time. And car payment, if your payment's due on the 15th, there's a 15-day grace period. So a car payment due on the 15th, yes, they're going to assess you a late fee, but you have until the 30th to pay that. Notice I said 30th, not 31st, 30th, 30 days. Okay. Or 15 days after the due date. Okay. So make sure you pay that within that time. If you go to 30 days, it's exactly what it is. They say it is 30 days late. That gets you a ding. So you can pay bills late and still not have it ding your credit. You have to be creative and you have to manage it. And I can't believe I'm telling you that, because that sounds like it's irresponsible, but that's kind of how I beat the system in the beginning to get my score going up. And now I'm more responsible because now I have better options. I have better things, and all my money's not going to an interest rate to this car over here. And to give you another example, the first car that I financed on this credit journey where I started building it, we were bad credit. We had a 22.9% interest rate on a $10,000 car. I paid every payment at the 15-day mark, because at that time I was a little strapped, but I paid it at the 15-day mark. I even took it in person if I had to make sure it got credited on that day. But that car I ended up paying $18,500 for. So I paid $100 in interest on that car. This is from memory, so I might be off a little bit, but it was over $8,000 in interest on that car. So make sure you manage everything correctly. You don't get dings on your credit, because dings on your credit will cost you money later and cost you approvals. Let's see. I'm talking about the average person though. Let's see. Hold on. I would go, wait, I never wait until the due date to make a payment. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Madison. But it happened. I don't do that now for the most part, but I'll miss one. And, if you miss one, shame on me for missing one. But, there was a lot of stuff going on, and occasionally you miss one. But we have a lot of accounts too, and we're working on getting those paid off. But let's see. I never wait until due date to make a payment. Yeah, that's a good policy to have. Let's see here. No one on this planet is more obsessed with credit. Okay, let's see. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Madison, we're alike. I have 12 credit cards. 12. That's a lot. Let's see here. Forza, should you get more than 2 credit cards? Personally, Forza 388, I would say yes. I haven't. I think I have a kind of an excessive amount, but it's just that I have some now that have some longevity, and longevity also helps your credit score. So if you pay off a credit card, don't close the account out, keep it, because it looks at open accounts and it looks at your total credit balance. It lumps them all together into a category for available credit. Also, while we're talking about available credit, see, I'll forget stuff, so I want to jump around and make sure I say it. Also, ask for credit limit increases. Some of the cards, they'll do it every 6 months. I did that to a number of my cards, and it took my percentage up. So there's two ways to get your percentages down, your usage percentages down. Pay it down and get your credit limit bumped up. So on a card, I had a Costco card that only had a $3,000 limit 3 years ago. That card now has an $11,200 limit on it. So the usage on that card in the beginning, that card stayed full because we went to Costco all the time. So I was making rapid payments on it, but I was carrying a balance. Now that balance doesn't hurt me where it did then, because it was 60% of the card, 50% of the card, what have you. Now it's 30% of the card, 12% of the card, depending on the card. So ask for credit increases when you can. Let's see. I walked into the dealership with an A01 credit score and my own financing and paid a Jetta off in 3 months. That's absolutely correct. Now, in this market, I will tell you, Barry Garrett, I will tell you, dealerships are requiring, in a lot of cases, you do finance with them. So what you did is absolutely correct. You walk in, you accept their financing, whoever they use, you get the best rate you can with them, pay it off in 3 equal payments, 90 days. What the reason that's 90 days is the dealership gets a chargeback, and depending on how your dealership is, I don't know. I guess they can't really come after you, but dealerships don't like the chargebacks. But the dealership can get charged back for a canceled loan in the first 90 days. So that makes the dealership happy. That made you happy. Let's see here. Some people believe just get a credit card and don't use it. You want to keep using it, but not over the top, and pay on it religiously. Absolutely right. Just because you have a credit card doesn't mean you now have credit. They need usage. And they're doing that to make money off of you. Case in point, my first credit card that I had, I used to work as an employee at Best Buy. I was a Best Buy employee. I bought stuff on that card religiously. It had $100 limit. Well, you buy an HDMI cable and you're already at 70% of the limit on that card. I would buy stuff, pay it off in the store, but it reported while I had a balance almost every time, because there was always a balance on that card, but I'd pay it off. The win was they never charged it. They never earned any interest on me because it was paid off in full every single time I used it. So they ended up closing that card because they never earned interest on me after 3 years. Not even a dollar. And that card did also ding me because when it would report $80 charge on a $100 limit card is 80%. So it was hurting my credit, and I thought it was helping. So that was a lesson learned. Let's see, I'm kind of way off the subject here. But anyway, challenge credit. I told you what you need: check stubs, proof of residency, bank statement, even a copy of your lease. All of those things. Come to the dealership with those. Be prepared to take what they can get you on a car. And if you're good, some of these banks, these high interest banks like Credit Acceptance, maybe even what's another one? Santander, things of that nature. There's certain banks that'll do high risk. You can refinance with them, or if you pay religiously with them on time, they'll actually cut your rate. They'll drop your rate. It'll still be a high rate, but it'll be a more preferred customer rate with that bank. And you can refinance after 6 months. Unfortunately, I think their rates are still adjusting up, not down, but you can refinance at any time, presuming the car is in good enough shape to get a loan on it. It can't be high miles or things of that nature, because banks have a limit on what they'll finance in mileage and amount of car, or dollar amount. I talked about gap insurance. I talked about that stuff there. I kind of went off the original title here, but I hope that stuff has helped you. If does anybody else have any questions at all about the model year stuff or anything I talked about there? Because I need to wind this down. I'm approaching 2 hours here, and I got to get back to other stuff here. Any other questions out there? See here. Let's see here. So just recap what I talked about. Make sure you get gap insurance, even if it's not at the dealer. If you have a lease car and it's coming up where you need to get out of the lease, or you either buy it or get a new lease, buy your lease. If your lease was pre-pandemic, buy your lease. If you are looking to trade in a car or sell your car or something like that, try a dealership. Don't go to Carvana. Carvana is probably, they're about to have a dramatic shift. They are not offering the prices they used to offer. If you have a CarMax near you, get a bid from them, take it to a dealer, and you might be able to get them to match what CarMax hits your car at. But with this market trending downwards, you may not get a very friendly offer or what you're looking for in your offers, because the market it's trending downward on trade values, and inventories at used car lots is going up, and so is new car stuff. So I guess the Fed raising rates is working. My fear is it's probably working too good, because it's going to slow down the car business overall. Going into the winter months is probably not the time you want rate pressures and things of that nature. If you do buy a car in this market, be prepared for a higher payment. Also, if you have the financial means to, come with a down payment. If you are shopping for a car at a dealership and they have market adjustments, move on. Go to another dealer. I mean that. Go to another dealer. If they're the only one in your town, go out of town. Don't entertain that. You can't afford to deal with that, because essentially we're at a point now where you could just be pissing that money away. And I'm sorry if that's a little curt or a little direct, but you're going to start running into banks that are going to go back to market value of the car, the actual market value of the car, not with these adjustments or these assessments. Let's see. I talked about 2023 GLI. Let's see. Any chance of cross-border interior update? Yeah, I did touch on that earlier. We think there's one coming. We just don't know the timeline on it. That we thought there was going to be a 2023 and a half update with infotainment and shifter and interior. But now it looks like they've at least backpedaled on that a little bit. That might come later. They've been having issues with time constraints for supplies. The just-in-time model doesn't work anymore on deliveries. Should I get a family member to have joint account on a credit card, since I won't get a high limit? If you have someone that's willing to add you as an authorized user to their account and they have stellar credit, I'd say go for it. What you can do is you can attach to that. They can continue to use the card. You don't, or they can order the card for you. It'll come with your name on it. Just don't give it to you. They continue to use that card. Their purchases are earning you points on the credit. At least that's the way I understand that works. Let's see. Oh, that reminds me. Buying a car. If you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, or boyfriend, or girlfriend, whatever. The point is, if you're not married, you're together in a relationship, but you are not married. You're not joined with a piece of paper. My advice is do not do that. If your boyfriend, girlfriend, you finance by yourself, no cosigner from the boyfriend's not a cosigner for you. You're not a cosigner for the boyfriend, and vice versa. Do not do that. That almost always goes sideways and in a hurry. And what I mean by that is I work with a guy who his girlfriend slash fiance, he financed the car for her because he had strong credit, owned a house. They broke up. And when you have a breakup, it's not just you and against your girlfriend, it's you against her and her family. And they are telling her and coaching her on ways to stick it to you. And I guarantee you the first thing that comes up is that car that you co-signed for. She's going to take the keys of that car, or he's going to take the keys of that car, and you're not going to see it again. He's going to say, what? It's my car. My name's on it. And he's going to do what he wants. And then when it comes to sell that car or trade that car in, both names are on the title. He's going to try to get around, or she's going to try to get around that. Or you're going to have to sign the title. They may forge your name. That's illegal too, but it happens. Boyfriend, girlfriend, if you're not married, if you're not, if you're not a civil union or something like that, where you have paperwork to back it up, don't go into a loan together, especially on a house or a car. Don't buy big ticket items like that. Don't do that together. And I don't care if you love her to death and she's the one you're going to marry or he's the one you're going to marry. Don't ever do that. Don't do that if you're not already married. It goes bad almost every time. Almost every time. Because you're talking about an extended period. You're talking about 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, however long that loan is. It can go bad overnight. So don't do that. Yeah, don't commingle funds. Keep them separate. Let's see here. My 2021 Jetta SE, I just love it, and it's paid for in 4 months. Man, that's awesome. I think that's kind of it. Just make sure to leave a comment here. You can comment after the fact. I got this set up where you should be able to comment on it even after the fact. Once I figure it out and I have time here, I might add some chapters to this so you can go back and look at this. And I'll probably do more of these. I may do more of these. I kind of got off of the car part of it and got on to the financing part of it. I'm not a finance expert or anything like that, but I just tell you from my experience, from what I've done. English is my first language in the past, and it's been a success for me. That doesn't mean it's right for you or necessarily it's gospel. It's what I've done. So with that, guys, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and extra fattening one at that. And you guys have safe and happy holidays. I thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I'll do more of these. Oh, and here's the studio here. I'm not moving very fast on it because I still got to sell cars. There's my 2 TV screens there, the Pac-Man machine over there. There's a computer over there, my other microphone over there. I've got a new computer set up here. I got monitors. Once this room is all done, there's a refrigerator going in here, cabinets, there's artwork, all kinds of stuff. So hopefully I'll get that done before next winter. But in the meantime, guys, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, have a great day, great evening, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.